Cause it's only, they only got one. That's the only trip that they bring one back, so they were trying to get them all.
Oh, they're gonna have to hold up. Wyland Hadnot Jr. Mr. Hadnot, is that your full name? Mr. Hadnot, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Hadnot, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Hadnot, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Hadnot?
Good.
That's good, Mr. Hadnot. I have before me a document that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. Do you recognize this document? Could you show this document to him?
Oh, that's the one. Young behind my.
Okay, now, is this your signature on the line that is titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
And are these your initials online that state you'd like to restate this case or hire your attorney?
Yes.
Now, before you sign and initial this document, did you read the document?
Yes.
Did you understand what you read?
Yeah.
And is everything in this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Hadnot, your case is going to be reset to give you an opportunity to hire your own attorney. Please have a seat in that first chair by the wall. Yes. Next case is cause number M324466, case of style of state of Texas versus Keith Rashad Kelly. Mr. Kelly, your full name is Keith Rashad Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Kelly, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Kelly, first of all, take that gum out your mouth and put it in the trash can. Okay, now, Mr. Kelly, please raise your right hand. Mr. Kelly, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Kelly, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Kelly? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Kelly, I have before me two documents. The first document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature online that's titled defendant?
Yes.
Or are these your initials on the line that states you like to waive the right to an attorney and represent yourself?
Yes.
I also have a document that is titled Waiver of Counsel for Purposes of Entering a Guilty Plea or Proceeding the Trial. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Kelly, before you sign and initial these two documents, did you read the documents? Did you understand what you read? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Okay. Now, Mr. Kelly, just have a seat. We're going to have one of the prosecutors that's going to come out and talk to you about the case.
Mr. Hadnot.
You can get us to.
I think you're trying to the free trial version application, you're trying to have to
Yeah,
Right.
whoever, you hiring your attorney, right? You can talk to your attorney about that. They'll know what to do. Okay. Next case, next two cases are cause numbers 23 CCCR 0276 and cause number 23 CCCR 1338. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Latrick J. Williams Jr. Mr. Williams. Okay, your name is Latrick J. Williams Jr.?
Yes.
Okay, now, Mr. Williams, you and I do not know each other, is that correct? Okay, but I think I know your father's name Latrick. Okay, I think back in the 90s, mid-90s, I think I coached him in basketball with the Kappa League. Like I said, it was back in the mid-90s, I think it was mid or late 90s. Now, State, you have any objections to me presiding over this case?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Waive any possible conflicts of interest?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, Mr. Williams, I have before me a document that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. You recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? And are these your initials on the line that states you want this case reset to hire your own attorney? Okay. Now, Mr. Williams, your case is going to be reset. You're gonna stand, well, have a seat in that first chair. The court coordinator is gonna reset your case. Once your case is reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Okay. Next case is cause number M333974, case of South State of Texas versus Sharonda Dalco. Ms. Dalco, your full name is Sharonda Dalco?
Sharonda Renee, yeah.
Okay. Ms. Dalco, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Dalco, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Dalco?
I'm doing okay.
That's good. Ms. Dalco, I have before me two documents. The first document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. You recognize this document?
Wait, is what?
Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
And are these your initials on the line stating you would like to apply for a court-appointed attorney?
Yes, sir.
I also have another document. This document is titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Indigence. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant Signature. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
Now, Ms. Dalco, before you signed and initial these documents, did you read the documents?
Yes,
Did you understand what you read?
yes,
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your
Yes.
knowledge? Ms. Dalco, I read your answers. Based on your answers, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. And the attorney that would be appointed to represent you in this case is Attorney Giles Cole. Attorney Cole will be given information to contact you, and you will also be given information to contact him. Our court reporter will give you that information. Once you get the information from the court reporter, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Please have a seat in that third chair by the wall, against the wall. Thank you. Next case is cause number 23CCCR 1434. Case is style of state of Texas versus Zachary Michael Alford. Oh. Yes, what? Yeah, it has the date, the day's date, the month, and the year.
Yeah. Or you can also do. I would give them just a minute. 3 years, oh, no.
Hey, you don't get to keep that. This is cause number 23CCCR 1434. Case of style of state of Texas versus Zachary Michael Alford. Mr. Alford, is that your full name?
Yes.
Mr. Alford, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Alford, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Mr. Alford, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Alford? Pretty good. That's good. Now, Mr. Alford, I have before me a document that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that is titled Defendant?
Yes.
And are these your initials on the line that state you'd like to apply for court-appointed attorney?
Yes.
And I also have another document that is titled Jefferson County Affidavit Injuries. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And on page 2 of this document, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant Signature. Is this your signature?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Alford, before you sign and initial these documents that I just showed you, did you read the documents?
Yes.
Did you understand what you read? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Alford, I read your answers. Based on your answers, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of court-appointed attorney. Attorney that's appointed to represent you in this case is Attorney Peter Dahl. Attorney Dahl will be given information to contact you, and you will also be given information to contact him. Our court coordinator will give you that information. Once you get that information from the court coordinator, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. Please have a seat in the first chair against the wall. Next case is Maculus Laney Toller, cause number M327274. Miss Woodle, we need to do the same thing with him. Thank you. Mr. Toller, your full name is Maculus Laney Toller.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Toller, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Toller, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Toller, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Toller?
Blessed to you, sir.
I'm blessed as well. Thanks for asking. Now, Mr. Toller, I have before me 2 documents. The first document is titled Jefferson County, it's titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature online? It's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials online stating you would like to apply for court-appointed attorney?
Yes, sir.
I also have another document that is titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Injuries. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And on page 2 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant Signature. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Foley, before you sign any of these documents that I just showed you, did you read the documents? Did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Toller, I read your answers. Based on your answers, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. An attorney that will be appointed to represent you in this case is Attorney Mark Faggett. Attorney Faggett will be given information to contact you, and you will also be given information to contact him. Our court coordinator will give you that information. Once you get the information from the court coordinator, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Please have a seat in that fifth chair against the wall.
Yes, sir.
Next case is cause number 23 CCCR 1312. Case is style of state of Texas versus Rayvon Gallo. Mr. Gallo, your full name is Rayvon Gallo.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gallo, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Gallo, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gallo, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Gallo?
Fine.
Doing fine? That's good. Now, Mr. Gallo, I have before me a document that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials on the line say you'd like to apply for court-appointed attorney?
Yes.
I also have another document that is titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Indigence. And Mr. Gallo, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, there is a signature above the line that's titled Defendant Signature. Is this your signature?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Gallo, before you sign and initial these documents, did you read the documents?
Yes.
Did you understand what you read?
Yes.
Is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Gallo, based on your answers, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. And the attorney that will be appointed to represent you in this case is Attorney David Grove. Attorney Grove will be given information to contact you. Ma'am, that door is closed. Attorney Grove will be given information to contact you, and you will also be given information to contact him. Our court coordinator will give you that information. Once you get the information from the court coordinator, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. Now, before we release you, I need to give you some bond conditions. Okay. Mr. Gallo, the court bailiff has just handed you a document that is titled Standard Bond Conditions in County Court at Law Number 2. Do you see those conditions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to go over these conditions with you, and it reads as follows. Following arrest and or accusation in County Court at Law Number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, all bail bonds executed for release of any defendant named herein are ordered subject to the following additional conditions. Number 1, the defendant shall commit no offense against the laws of this state, any other state, or of the United States. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir.
Condition number 2, the defendant shall submit to testing for drugs and alcohol at any time as directed by the court. The court may revoke the bond and order the arrest of any defendant who, A, refuses to submit to a test for drugs and alcohol when directed to do so by the court, or B, submit to a test for drugs and alcohol, and the test indicates the presence of drugs and alcohol in the defendant's body. Do you understand that condition? And condition number 3, the defendant shall not communicate either directly or indirectly with the alleged victim of the pending offense, and the defendant shall not go near any residence, school, or other location frequented by the alleged victim. You understand that condition?
Yes, sir.
Now, condition number 4 does not apply because that only applies in a DWI case, and your case is not a DWI case. Now, Mr. Gallo, if you violate any one of these bond conditions, your bond can be revoked, and if your bond is revoked, the warrant will be issued for your arrest and you'll be placed in the Jefferson County Jail. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, Okay, Mr. Gallo, just have a seat in that first chair against the wall. Yeah. Next. Three cases. You don't need to talk to them. Okay. It's like Tex Louisiana, TEXLA.
Okay.
That's abbreviation for Texas, Louisiana.
This is just a street address.
Yeah. Okay. Next case, well, the next cases are Shantaria Janae Mitchell. Cause numbers M334170. Cause number 23CC Ciara 0452. And cause number 23CC Ciara 0453. All three cases are styled the state of Texas versus Shantaria Janae Mitchell. Ms. Mitchell, is that your full name? Okay, Ms. Mitchell, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Mitchell, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Ms. Mitchell, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Mitchell? That's good. Now, Ms. Mitchell, I have before me the document that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. Ms. Mitchell. No, I'm saying, I'm just telling you what the title of this document is. Okay. Do you recognize this document? And at the bottom of this document, there's a signature on a line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature? Are these your initials on a line that state you would like to apply for a court-appointed attorney?
Yeah.
On the next document, this document is titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Vengeance. You recognize this document?
Yeah.
On page 2 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant signature. Is this your signature?
Yeah.
Now, Ms. Mitchell, before you signed and initialed these documents, did you read the documents? Did you understand what you read? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Okay. Now, Ms. Mitchell, I read your answers based on your answers, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. And the attorney that will be appointed to represent you in this case is Attorney Benjamin Jeffries. Attorney Jeffries will be given information to contact you, and you will also be given information to contact him. Our court coordinator is going to give you that information. Once you get the information from our court coordinator, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Please have a seat in the third chair against the wall. Next case is cause number 23 CCCR 1728. Case is titled State of Texas versus Michael K. Barton. Mr. Barton, your full name is Michael K. Barton.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Barton, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Barton, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Mr. Barton, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Barton? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Barton, I have before me a document that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature online as title defendant? At the top of this document, well, at the bottom of this document, there's a set of initials on a line that states you'd like to apply for court-appointed attorney. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Barton, I also have another document here that's titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Indigence. And let me do this here. Now, I also have before me a document that is titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Indigence. And Mr. Barton, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant Signature. Is this your signature?
Yes, yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Barton, before you sign and initial these documents that I just showed you, did you read the documents?
I did.
Did you understand what you read?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Now, Mr. Barton, I read your answers. Based on your answers, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. And the attorney that will be appointed to represent you in this case is Attorney Jack Lawrence. Attorney Lawrence will be given information to contact you, and you will also be given information to contact him. Our court coordinator will give you that information. Once you get the information from the court coordinator, Mr. Barton, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. Please have a seat in that first chair against the wall.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Okay. Here you go.
Here it is. He got a court, gallows.
Yeah, he got a court appointed attorney.
Yeah, he got a.
Yeah. Raven, Ravon Gallo, something.
She said.
David
he got a
Rose.
warrant, so,
Okay, David Rose is his lawyer.
okay.
I think you should have his paperwork.
Oh, okay, I haven't done it yet. Okay.
Jefferson County Court Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session in 2 cases. The cases are cause number 23CCCR 1288 and cause number 23CCCR 1289. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Justin E. Harrison. Mr. Harrison, is that your full name?
Yes.
Mr. Harrison, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Harrison, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God? Mr. Harrison, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Harrison? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Harrison, you representing your case by your attorney, Attorney Tyler LeBlanc. Attorney LeBlanc, how are you doing? And Attorney LeBlanc, do you waive a record in Mr. Harrison's case?
We do, Your Honor.
State is represented in this case by Attorney Andrew Hubel. Attorney Hubel, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge.
That's good. Mr. Harrison, I have before me a document that was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. This document is titled Information Sheet. In this information sheet, Mr. Harrison, it alleges that you, Justin E. Harrison, on or about April 1st of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to Class B misdemeanor offense, possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 2A. Mr. Harrison, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes.
And to discharge Mr. Harrison, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Mr. Harrison, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. It is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
On page 2 of the same document, there's a set of initials on the line next to the box that check nolo contendere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document? On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant Signature. Is this your signature? On the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, you recognize this document?
Yes.
At the bottom of this document, above the line that is titled Defendant, is this your signature?
Yes.
There are 2 boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. You recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Now, Mr. Harrison, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney, Mr. LeBlanc, go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you read and understand everything that Mr. LeBlanc went over?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Mr. Harris, are you a citizen of the United States? State, I have before me State's Exhibit 1. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit Number 1?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no objection.
No objection. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. Mr. LeBlanc, you've advised and counseled Mr. Harrison. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
Nothing worth going.
And Mr. Harrison, your attorney, Mr. LeBlanc, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Mr. Harrison, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
The agreement is to a plea of 80 days time served with court costs taxed and retired on the possession of controlled substance case, and state agrees to dismiss the other case.
Okay, Mr. Harrison, the state is offering in cause number 23CCCR 1289 that you serve 80 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not be required to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail because you've already served 80 days in the Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you give them credit for the time that you have already served. The court costs in this case will be taxed and retired. What that means is you will not be required to pay the court costs because the time that you spent in jail is already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. The state will also be dismissing the companion case, cause number 23CCCR 1288. Mr. Harrison, do you understand the state's offer? And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Thank you, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer? Mr. Harrison, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Harrison, you're gonna have a seat in the jury box. And when the court clerk is ready for you, you're gonna go up to a window so she can finalize the paperwork. Okay, just have a seat in the jury box.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Mr. LeBlanc, if these are your last two cases, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Okay. Oh, you have the paperwork?
Okay. The Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session in clause number M324466. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Keith Rashad Kelly. Again, Mr. Kelly, is that your full name? Mr. Kelly, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Kelly, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Kelly, you may put your hand down. Again, Mr. Kelly, how are you doing? That's good. Now, Mr. Kelly, I have before me these two documents. The first document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes.
And are these your initials on the line stating you want to waive your right to attorney, which means to give up your right to attorney and represent yourself? I also have a document that is titled Waiver of Counsel for purposes of entering a guilty plea or proceeding to trial. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Now, prior to signing and initialing these two documents, did you read the documents? Did you understand what you read? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Now, Mr. Kelly, I also have a document before me that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Keith Rashad Kelly, on or about April 28th of 2019, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of possession of marijuana. Mr. Kelly, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to this charge, Mr. Kelly, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No comment.
Now, you're pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes.
Mr. Kelly, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
On page 2 of this same document, there are two sets of initials. The first set of initials is on a line next to a box that's checked no contingent, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
The second set of initials are on a line below a paragraph that is titled Discovery Admonishment, and is on a line next to a statement that reads as follows. I do not request discovery of evidence. I waive my right to request discovery of evidence and choose to enter a plea of guilty or no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes.
And on page 3 of this same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature? Now, Mr. Kelly, also you have a right to have a record. Do you waive your right to have a record?
Yes.
I also have a document here that is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. You recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are two boxes that are checked. The first box that is checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you are giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Kelly, before you signed and initialed these documents, did you read the documents? And did you understand what you read? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Mr. Kelly, are you a citizen of the United States?
No, sir.
You're not?
I'm a permanent resident.
Okay, I need to get him to sign. There's another document here.
Mandatory notification. Or
Yes. Okay, now, Mr. Kelly, I have a document here. Now, first of all, what country are you from?
Germany.
Okay, they're not on the list. Okay. Now, Mr. Kelly, I have before me, Ms. Whittle,
Yes.
could you hand this document to Mr. Kelly? Now, Mr. Kelly, the document that has just been handed to you is titled English Statement 1 for all foreign nationals except those from mandatory notification countries. Do you see that title? Okay, I'm going to go over this document with you, and it reads as follows. As a non-citizen who is being arrested or detained, you may request that we notify your country's consular officers here in the United States of your situation. You may also communicate with your consular officers. A consular officer may be able to help you obtain legal representation and may contact your family and visit you in detention, among other things. If you want us to notify your consular officers, you may, or you can request this notification now or at any time in the future. Do you want us to notify your consular officers at this time? Okay, Ms. Woodle, could you give him a pen?
Yeah.
Okay, you can circle where it says no, and you can print your name and signature, and I guess anybody can witness it for him. Anyone could witness it for him. Okay, now what I'm going to do is go back to State's Exhibit number 1. Okay. He still, okay, I'm gonna let him read it. It's just the top portion. Okay, now, Mr. Kelly, going back to State's Exhibit number 1. That's the document that you acknowledge. That's the same document that had your initials on page 2 and your signature on page 3. On page 1 of this document, there's a paragraph at the bottom that's titled citizenship. And this document, the statement on this document states, if you are not a U.S. citizen, a plea of guilty or no contendere may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law. Do you understand that? Now, there's a case called Padilla versus Kentucky. In that case, as a defendant in a criminal case, you have a right to be informed as to the consequences of you pleading guilty or no contest to a criminal case. Now, you are not represented by an attorney. You waive your right to have an attorney. At this time, the court can allow you to withdraw your plea if you want time to talk to an immigration lawyer to fully advise you as to the consequences as pursuant to Padilla versus Kentucky. Now, would you like to withdraw your plea at this time, or would you like to go forward?
I like to move.
You still want to go forward? Okay. Now, let me do this here. Mr. Hubel, could we have Mr. Kelly to put his initials next to the citizenship paragraph that we just went over? Thank you. All right. Now, again, Mr. Kelly, before you sign and initial these documents, did you read the documents? Did you understand what you read? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Okay. State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. State, would you like to offer State's 1 in evidence?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Kelly, State is offering State's Exhibit 1 to be admitted into evidence. State's Exhibit 1 is the document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment, the same document that have your initials on page 2 and your signature on page 3. Do you have, now the State would like to use this document as evidence against you in this case. Do you have any objections to the State using this document as evidence in your case? No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Kelly, is there any evidence that you are currently mentally incompetent to stand trial? Okay, Mr. Kelly, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial, and I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
That agreement was for a plea to 3 days jail with 3 days credit. It's a time served plea.
Okay. This is. Okay, Mr. Kelly, the state is offering that you serve 3 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you'll not be required to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you've already served 3 days in Jefferson County Jail. Now, the court cost in this case is $350. The 3 days that you served in jail will cover $300 or $352. So that means you would hold a balance of $52. Would you be able to pay that today?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Mr. Kelly, do you understand the state's offer? Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Mr. Kelly, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Kelly, this will conclude your case. Just have a seat when the court clerk is ready for you. She's going to call you up to her window right here, and then she's going to give you the judgment that you'll bring downstairs to the clerk's office, pay the $52 balance, then you come back upstairs with that receipt. Back up here with the receipt. Okay. And this will, let's see, you can have a seat.
And then we're gonna go to the next scan is. Okay, next, I'm gonna go to this position. So you want me to, just so I understand, Judge?
Jefferson County Code Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session, cause number 23 CCCR 1334. Case is style of status Texas versus Marquis. Marquis Jamon Briscoe. Marquis Jamon Briscoe was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. for the court's arraignment docket. At about 9 a.m., the court's vehicle called the name of Marquis Briscoe at the courthouse door. Marquis Briscoe did not answer. Marquis Briscoe has not appeared in court since the court's been in session. The time now is 11:46 a.m. on today's date of October 24th of 2023. Ms. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Marquis Briscoe at the courthouse door? Marquise, good, no answer? Okay, Marquise Briscoe's name was just called at the courthouse door by the court's bailiff. Marquise Briscoe did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Briscoe an opportunity to appear in court. He has not appeared in court. State, do you have a motion?
Yes, Your Honor. Statements for bond forfeiture.
That motion will be granted. Marquis Briscoe bond will be forfeited and a warrant should be issued for his arrest in clause number 23 CCCR 1334. This will conclude the calling of the court's arraignment docket. The court will be in recess until 1:30 this afternoon to begin our trial. At this time, the court is in recess. Everyone is free to go. You have a blessed day. You are.
See you this afternoon, Judge.
Okay.